Cool. I guess it means that we're on. Yay. After some technical difficulties, we managed that. You know, computers are complicated. So Sayan is out today. It means that we're taking over as a team and continue like the developer sync. The first item for today is going through the roadmap. Thilo, would you want to share your screen and share the roadmap view?
Speaking of technical difficulties,
You can?
the OS roadmap view is sort of broken
What? But I
on
saw
on
it
on
like
Edge right now.
an hour ago.
Yeah, it's working well on my other system. So the thing that's gonna happen now is I'm gonna dial in with a second me and share the other browser window. Second me won't be visible and won't have audio because we don't want feedback.
No.
I can also screen share if that helps. I think I have the road.
I want to wiggle around with my mouse a bit.
All right, go ahead.
In the meantime, I'll show you the cutest dog that dog is sitting now. He thinks he's the size of a mouse, but he's the size of a horse.
Oh wow. Okay, given all those technical difficulties, we need cute dogs. Good call.
He's big as a couple of them, so like when we're going out for a walk, I'm not sure who's walking whom.
Nice. All right. Thilo with functional OS roadmap joined, and I will now share my screen.
Jesus, there's always like a feeling that it all holds by some sticks and duct tape.
It does. The sticks and duct tape are actually called Docker.
Oh.
Don't. All right, we're seeing the roadmap. There have been a few changes in that more items have gotten into progress. Some of which I should probably group. So that's kind of my to-do I take from today's meeting for the next call. I will go through most of the sysax based roadmap items with Kai and streamline it and make those better trackable, like with the whole sysax board that Kai is maintaining and with the milestone planning that we're doing for sysax now. So system sysax for image composability and extensibility has started. We had a first, I don't want to say a third-party presentation, but it was a presentation of two folks who are definitely not part of the Flatcar team, Andy Randall and Ralph Scalacci, and I presented on how Flatcar can be extended to be a good operating system for WebAssembly workloads. And this factors into the whole composability. So that definitely started, and we even checked a few boxes there. Then the TPM 2.0, a secure boot work stream, has started with Cyan laying the foundations. With the recent grub update, now we can make better use of TPM version 2, and work there will continue to make Flatcar a fully measurable and secure boot operating system. And so that basically just has all of the composable image-based OS tracking items that I need to merge into a single item. OEM-specific tools, we're on our way to update 6 OEMs with the next round of releases to work with sysax. Torx deprecation is ongoing, not quite done yet, but there isn't much left to do. And then system config things, items here as well, and like all of that need to be updated and merged, probably 1 or 2 single issues. Okay, build pipeline automation is ongoing. It's always ongoing. There's always room to improve there. And if you publish to kind of the variety of marketplaces that Flatcar does, then there's a lot of work left to do. Portage stable full alignment is also under full steam. Crashim is working on that and pushing forward with that as well. And that's pretty much from the overview. None of those are quite ready for release. The next one that will be ready might be the Torx deprecation, followed by the OEM tools conversion. And these are the changes on the roadmap.
Cool. Thank you for that overview. So next is Johannes or Johanan.
Yeah, I should share too, right?
Yeah. Do you have
All
technical difficulties to share too, or is it going well?
Not that I know of.
That's
Can you guys
good.
see?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So first item, it's not actually captured as a work item. That is Flatcar as the official Capi distro.
Can you zoom in, please?
I think I can. Can somebody mute? There is a lot of background noise. Thank you. Is it better now? Legible? All right. So Flatcar is the official Capi distro. This initiative was originally brought up by one of the core Capi maintainers, Vince Prignano. We're currently, while working on that proposal, we've discovered that we're dependent on issue 5294 in core Capi. That is separating kubeIDM from cloud emitter ignition. I'm currently collaborating with other core contributors around a proposal for issue 5294. That's going to be a central issue for a lot of Flatcar plus Capi work in the near future. This will likely be a long process because we're touching a significant design problem that existed more or less from the beginning of the Capi project, as far as I know, and we're now trying to basically disentangle two closely related but not identical elements within the project. So that's going to be a recurring dependency for a lot of work streams in the near future. Magnum support, so that's here. No news. We're still waiting on contributors. I'm wondering at what point we should move this back to the backlog, but yeah, nothing exciting there. Race between kubeIDM and containerd. I started looking at that. I cannot reproduce the issue. As far as I can tell, it has only ever occurred at cap O, so cluster API for OpenStack. Everything okay, Danielle?
Thilo actually wanted to say something about the Magnum support.
Oh yeah, go ahead.
I misclicked and I actually hit the thumbs up button, which is great as well, given the Capi progress. But Magnum in particular, so I know that Cloudbase has picked up work on adding Flatcar as supported by Magnum. Maybe we should ping them and ask them to circle back on us and maybe even use this issue to track their work.
All right, thanks. I'll write this down.
I'll make contact.
You will. Okay, thanks. All right, so regarding the race condition between kubeIDM and containerd, I couldn't really reproduce the issue. I'm not sure whether this is like a highly random rare issue or it only affects cap O. It's really hard to tell because there is already a workaround in place, turns out, in cap O. So I basically tagged the author and I'm trying to figure out if we can close the issue or if there is any generic fix or workaround that we can implement. If there is one, it's not going to be in core Capi, it's going to be in each and every provider, which is kind of a hassle, but this is potentially one of the things that might be better once we finish the work on core Capi issue 5294 that I mentioned before, because then we'd hopefully be in a place where we can override things at a distro level basis rather than copying a lot of code. So yeah, that's about it. Ignition version 3. So we have an upstream PR open, but very quickly we got comments from some maintainers that we should probably wait for issue 5294, which is gradually becoming famous. And yeah, so right now, basically this PR is on hold. In my opinion, it should probably be closed because it's going to take a real long time until 5294 is resolved, but we will see. The basic idea is there is no point in adding a lot of complexity for supporting Ignition version 3 before we know how Ignition and kubeadm and the rest of CAPI should interact. Yep, systemd sysxt images. A while ago, Mathieu did a POC during the Flatcar office hours, which was really successful in my opinion. It looks like an interesting approach to me, which could solve various problems around Flatcar plus CAPI, but we've agreed that we need more design discussions about that. As far as I can tell, it's not blocked. I think we can continue this work stream. CAPI maintainers do seem to be very interested in this idea. Maybe it's not only a Flatcar specific change, maybe it could be a generic change, relying on vanilla distro images rather than customizing lots of stuff with image builder. Is anyone aware of someone actively working on that? If not, maybe we should move this to the backlog so that the board reflects the actual status.
I think Mathieu is.
Okay, good. So this actually is in progress then.
Yeah.
Okay, excellent. We may need to wait. So the work on 5294 might affect sysxt this issue as well. I'm not sure exactly in what way, but they're not completely separate. So as long as we can make progress on that issue, I think we should. But maybe there is like a finish-to-finish dependency there. I'm not sure. I guess we'll see. There is no proposal yet for 5294. It's work in progress. That's about that. Any comments on the sysxt thing?
Yeah, it's kind of related to the next one, I would say, because the overall update story is to update the base OS and update the Kubernetes binaries, and so Kubernetes would be done through sysxt.
That's right.
I think they're loosely related. So at most, there's an end-to-end dependency, as you say. But I think for the time being, they can be pursued independently. Also because sysxt is awesome for image-based distros like Flatcar. On generic purpose distros like Fedora or Ubuntu, you will need to pull some tricks to make it work with the distro. It doesn't work out of the box. We're on that, but this is a long story.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, cool. And regarding Flatcar updates, we've agreed in offline discussions that we need more design work around that. As far as I can tell, this issue is currently up for grabs. It's not ready for implementation, but there's definitely a lot of design work to do there. I'm not aware of any dependencies. So, I mean, again, it might be affected by sysxt, so we can see the sysxt work as an enabler for better Flatcar updates. But yeah, as far as I can tell, this issue is up for grabs. Unless somebody knows otherwise.
I left a comment there talking about the update operator that we already have, which is flu, and making this a bit more flexible and better usable. And in the same way, then we could also look into having an update operator for sysxt images, specifically the Kubernetes binaries itself. And then they could integrate to have like only one reboot coordinator.
Makes sense. All right, I think that's it on my end.
So
Thanks again.
I have a quick update for Johanna, which I guess is interesting and may augment the Class API work that you're doing. It's pretty close to the operating system, right? So it sits basically between Kubernetes and the operating system on the Class API end. And so there's a new working group that has been formed out of the tech runtime. And that working group is the special purpose operating system working group, because we didn't want to call it the container OS working group. The WASM folks were also interested, and there are a lot of representatives of specialized operating systems in that group. So if you want to drop by any of the future office hours of that group and kind of present your work on separating kubeadm and a bootstrap provider, folks might be interested. I think it's kind of related to the general charter of the group, so people should be interested.
Cool, thanks. Yeah, at that point, we don't have anything to show. It's very preliminary discussions, but when we do, then yeah, sure, we can discuss where to present things. It's going to be noisy and loud for sure, because it's going to affect lots of parties. So yeah, thanks for the update.
thanks again. So I guess next update is from Kai about systemd CSEX integration. How about Kai? Are you ready to share?
I should share my screen, okay. One moment.
Yeah, I figure out it would be easier than doing it centralized. And you don't have to if you don't feel like. Could do it.
Maybe working on it.
Oh,
Usually Cyan does the screen sharing for everybody. I guess we're not used to not having Cyan around.
it just
It
dropped
looks
from
like
the
Kai
meeting.
just left, or
Yeah, it dropped from the meeting. I guess it's just a technical issue meeting today. That's like the overarching team. So how about we continue to the next item and then come back to Kai when he is able to join?
Mhm.
And Dongsu, are you able to share or should I do that?
Okay, I'll try to share my screen.
Oh, Kai is back.
Yeah, pipeline action, I would say. I will do it just by speaking. So what we have new is that the OEM setups for VMware and AWS are ported now to be systemd images, and that way they can have AB updates, part of the regular Flatcar update mechanism. And so next would be only GCE that is left to do, and some smaller integration work with the DigitalOcean and Equinix Metal and OpenStack images, but that's kind of not so much work. And yeah, when that is done, we look into having talks be moved out of the image and have inbuilt Docker and containerd SysEx that can easily be disabled if you want to ship your own versions. And a similar stream is that we want to have official Flatcar extensions, for example, a ZFS extension or Podman extension. Yeah, so much for that.
Cool. Thank you again. Stop the sharing. And yeah, so Dongsu now going to you. So inline work for implementation view.
Okay.
If it doesn't work, I'll just share. I'm afraid at this point that you would be kicked out too.
Okay, can
Looks
you
good.
see it?
Yeah.
Looks good.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll go through quickly the maintainers. Tactical implementation board. So on the right side, there is a testing and review tab. So there are 5 issues that are waiting for reviews. So please have a look. Next one is in progress tab. So there are several issues that are still in progress. So for example, Chris created a PR several months ago about shipping Docker 660 and getting rid of the torques. That should be done, but I'm not sure who is going to take over the PR. So yeah, is anyone working on it? Or? Okay, then let's have a look at the later. And integration of UERS update engine. This is already heavily worked on by William and Kai and me. So yeah, so stay tuned. Next one is OpenSSH. So Krishmir is already working on it, I suppose. And,
Yeah, this is in progress. I kicked off like a CI today, but I haven't checked what are the results. It should be like ready for review, like any day. Maybe I probably mark it for review tomorrow.
Oh yeah, thank you. And the
But
next
but
one,
the, but sorry, just wanted to add the scope of it has changed a bit. It basically became an update of the OpenSSH to a newer version, but I'm still keeping it in the overlay instead of moving to PostGIS table, because the changes that I have made to our e-build and I try to upstream to Gentoo are still not merged to Gentoo. So until they get merged, we are going to have it in overlay. But there
Okay.
are no like Flatcar specific modifications anymore in the package.
Yeah, thanks for the info.
Yeah.
And the next one is Lua. So this is a security issue, and this eBird is already available in Gentoo, and finally is become stable last week.
Yeah, I'm currently working on the weekly updates, and this one is actually being tackled as a part of that.
Yeah,
exactly, the weekly updates.
Yeah, I'm waiting for weekly updates. Next one, Nebraska issue. So external contributor created a PR on Helm chart, but Kai, would you like to add something about that or comments?
Yeah, so we had some external contributions, and Mathieu reviewed some of them, but not all. And in this case here, we had the original author not follow up, and I guess we can either take over his branch and push to it directly if that's allowed in the GitHub PR settings, or we have to create a new pull request.
Okay.
So the question is like, yeah, who's picking up these pull requests?
Yeah. So is there anyone who wants to do that?
Sounds like nope.
No. Okay.
Maybe later someone will pick it up. Like everyone seemed to be quite busy.
Yeah.
Maybe eventually someone will pick it up.
If someone's watching this video, that one's up for grabs. You can just go and do it. We'll accept this contribution if the work is pushed forward.
Exactly.
Oh yeah, that's a cool thing.
Thank you. Next one is Rust. Okay, this is already pull request is created by our bot, and CI is running, and it'll be finished tomorrow. Samba. Okay, Samba is a little tricky in Flatcar because only library and small portion of Samba, small parts are available in Flatcar. Usually security issues do not affect Flatcar. However, in this case, two CVs are actually affecting Flatcar. So we are trying to update Samba to the latest version. Yeah, we'll probably manage to do that. And the rest is all release tracking issues. So these are open because only GCP parts are not done, and Cyan created an automation script about GCP, and yeah, here is probably going to do that. So yeah, cluster API script should be running, and I suppose Cyan is also preparing that. Okay, that's it for that this implementation board. I suppose I'll continue to the next one. So in the last few weeks, 11 issues were closed and 5 issues were created. So let me quickly go through that. Yeah, uncompressing QEMU disk images. Yeah, that was done by Krish. Yeah, we merged that PR yesterday. Yeah, that was the same issue. Next one was vendor tools and existing installation VMware. So I suppose Krishmir did that work, and thanks for that. Also, yeah, that was the same issue. And glibc, yeah, this was a security issue, and last week Tilo updated the glibc version to the latest one. Thanks for that.
And I broke the build. Like I need to verify I broke the nightly build head because I did. And Krashimir, thank you, Krashimir.
Yeah, that happens. Yeah, thank you. And TCP wrapper support. Yeah, I suppose this was also done in SSHD. And extension image styling. Yeah, that was already also done in the latest updates of our implementation. And SE Linux. Okay, Matthew did a bunch of SE Linux updates recently, and that closed 4 different issues. So yeah, thanks for that. And let's have a look at the new issues. For example, compress user AV partitions. Krishmir created that PR, and I suppose we can put it in the long-term section. Is that correct?
There's like pull request that Kai has opened. That changes the user partition to use Btrfs with the compression. So that's something that could be done quickly. There are of course some other proposals like using ScorchFS, but that are probably a bit more work, and probably just using Btrfs with compression is enough for now, as it like leaves like over the half of the partition free instead of just 10%.
Yeah. Okay, then how about the multi-stage updates? This involves Nebraska work, and should it be in the long-term section or?
I think so, yeah. That was basically like a plan to have a thing that if you are like really old version of Flatcar, then you probably would need to update to some intermediate version that, I don't know, brings some support for something else, so you can update to the even newer one. So there's like no plans, no design or anything like that. But that was basically like a, let's say, an idea that I had. So, and that might be useful for some feature that might be breaking some way. So yeah, I think it's more like on long-term stuff.
Okay. Samba already mentioned, and Mayday config input. I'm not sure which what this is. So Vincent created last week, and
I think it was mostly about that Mayday is basically producing way too much output, and basically you are not using it. So,
oh yeah. Thank you. Okay, let's try to have a look. That's it from my side. And should I continue to the release board right now? Yeah, I'll do that.
Sure.
This is a release board. Let me quickly go through that. Next week, October 2nd, we will do another set of releases, and the version is alpha, another version alpha, and current alpha should be beta, current beta should be stable, and current stable should be LTS. So we will get a new LTS. And yeah, currently several packages are being updated, and also there are some other pending updates are planned, and yeah, feel free to join and create a PR to update the packages.
Yeah, the weekly updates are actually planning to update like 3 of those packages, like Midkerberos, ProsPS, and this URL. This is something that will come in weekly. So.
Good to know.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yes. Oh, and more than half of them are already done in this tab. And however, for example, this one is not done, still open for waiting for review. Yeah, this one also. Yeah. Let's have a look at. And okay, that's it. Let me stop sharing.
Sure. Cool. I guess that's the kind of cover everything. We have like also talk about the upcoming release and the status of packages. So well, that's like other tracker. So yeah, no more items. We could open the stage now, I guess. Yusuf, would you like to introduce yourself?
Hey, hi.
Hello.
Am I audible?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yeah, hi. I am a CS graduate and been working since I graduated. Took a break after that, some personal issues. So yeah, so cut to the chase. I was like really interested the kind of work Flatcar is doing. So I sort of like have a interest area towards like tinkering into different systems. So I was trying to figure out how folks works here. Yeah. So Cyan suggested me this issue earlier. I just wanted to understand like how do we perform tests, like running locally, or how is it? If anyone would help me on that.
So there are multiple stages that we run tests. Running tests locally is absolutely possible. Depends a little on the specs of your machine. It's more memory bound than CPU bound. But with 16 to 32 gigabytes, you should be entirely fine. If you have a lower spec machine, you can reduce the number of tests that you run in parallel. Some of the tests will launch multiple QEMU VMs and just do scenario tests like provisioning coordinators or CNIs, and that can exact a bit of a toll on machines. In general, do we have good docs on how to run tests locally, or should we add these? It's actually just calling a script. So you'd be doing what our CI is doing. Let me.
Yeah, you could probably read the GitHub action workflow.
Yeah, I was about to find the right link to the GitHub action workflow.
Yeah, but that's for all tests. I think we only want to have one test running, right? So in that case, you just run Cola, and that's documented in the Mantle repository.
That would be another option. Yeah, that's correct.
You mean Fedora, right?
No, the tool is called Mantle, and the part of the tool that we use for testing is called Cola.
Okay.
It runs
those things are confusing.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. The Mantle is like the whole project, and Cola is like a part of the Mantle project. Yeah, someone was a fan of geology, so they came up with those names like Plume, Ore, and stuff.
But please use the metrics channel. You don't need to wait for Cyan to when you run into issues or anything. We're all available on metrics on Element. So
True. That's a good. Do we have the link to the metrics channel?
Yeah, it's there. It's there.
Perfect. Cool.
I mean, don't be shy. That's all I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
Yeah, I need to work on that. Yeah, I'll probably get back.
Oh,
Cool.
we're all nice. We don't bite hard.
Yep. And we are happy that you want to join. Like, this is awesome.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of there's like all of these terms that seems very obvious to everyone here, like mental qualia and all of that. It's like not a silly question to ask, hey, what is that? Like, how do I add a test? And I mean, it's all good. Just like utilize that everyone is there and ready to help, and very happy with contributes. So
Yes. Thank you so much.
cool. So I guess that conclude the meeting for today. So thank you all for having patience with all the technical difficulties and with unstructured meeting that we had today, not one person sharing, but yeah, we'll be smoother next time when San is back.
Cool.
Okay.
All right. Bye. Have a
Ciao.
good day and the rest of the week. Bye.
Bye, folks.